Hello. Okay, let's see if we have contact. I just had some technical difficulties here starting with, so I just want to double check so we have contact. Anybody in the chat? Santosha, hello. Okay. Can you hear me? Do we have contact? Yes. Thank you, Karina. Okay, warm welcome to this Christmas Eve special with, a cozy evening in this loving atmosphere and the true story about Christmas, Santa Claus, the flying reindeers, and the holy connection this whole weekend has to offer for us. So the true history, where it comes from, the origin, is what we were going to dive into tonight. So welcome everybody around the world, even though we're just a small crowd tonight. Most people have family and friends to spend time with, but I'm glad we have each other. So since this day, this Sunday ended up being on Christmas Eve, I thought, well, I'm sure there's someone going to enjoy that we have this live together. And then, of course, all who will see it afterwards. So, hello, Santosha. Hello, Karina. Hello, Eric. Hello, Sophia. Lotta, Mona Lisa, Suzanne. All right. Nice to have you here. And we are more coming on board. I see it's growing here. So very good. Okay. Now, let's start with checking the energies, because it's really interesting now in these times how it goes up and down for us all, and how you are feeling tonight. How are you handling it? Is it love and all good, or is it challenging? Where are you on the scale? So, because we're going to dive into this much more in the evening here. So it's good that we have a little check first. So let's see, I'm just going to put this in the background. Here we go. So who is first out sharing? Hello, Lotta. Karina, I have my children here and their spouses, but it is so nice with a little rest with Björn break. Love and over 900. Thank you, Karina. That was very sweet of you. And Dito, thank you for taking a pause from your children and spouses. Love it. Okay, 900. So that's super high. Wow, amazing. So you are the beacon in the Christmas tree, lighting up everything. So is there anybody else who would like to share how you're doing? Carolina, hello. Many people have been writing Merry Christmas on text message. Beautiful, but I'm feeling a bit dizzy in the head, but grateful overall. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The thing with spelling and words, there is a lot there. So Merry is, of course, many meanings there, but merry is a jolly, good, happy, feel-good feeling word. And then Christ Mass. So we're going to hold, that's what we're going to do here this evening, have a Mass of Christ consciousness, because this whole evening is about Christ consciousness, the ultimate consciousness. The five-pointed star in the tree, the what do you call it? The crown chakra, being enlightened. So the whole Christmas tree is a human being all lit up and crowned. So that is the goal with it all. So 900 is up there. Very good. Carolina, also, thank you. Susanne, 700 just now. Okay, so you're in the enlightenment and ultimate flow energy. Lovely to hear, Susanne. Eric, 600 to 700. I feel love and light. So nice. Thank you for sharing, Eric. Mona Lisa, I feel very strange. The energies is strong and very much up and down. So from 100 to 600. Oh, okay. So you're down in fear as well. All right. Well, maybe we can stabilize that during this evening so you can be 600 and above. Let's shoot for that. Karina, almost full moon here in Sweden and -8 in the air. So beautiful. We have sun almost all day outside in this Narnia feeling. Okay, how nice. I have some Narnia upcoming pictures here, actually, so that's going to fit perfectly. Eric, I'm spending this Christmas days all by myself, but feel connected to everything. Been out in the woods and nature twice today in the sun. Wonderful. Sounds lovely, Eric. Thank you for sharing. Mona Lisa, I wrote wrong. Happy Christmas. Okay. That's good. So thank you for all your support and thank you for helping out with the likes. As you know, I've been talking about that the last few weeks, and it's helping. So thank you all for pressing the thumbs up. The shadow banning and censorship that I'm going through on the channel is full on. So your help there with the likes and spreading the message is so needed. So thank you for helping out. And yes, it works. It's still crazy. They are keeping on doing the same thing, but at least now we bump up the feeling for what we're doing here for others to see. So it doesn't look like we are only like we are tonight. 42. Well, imagine if we are all together in a room, then 42 would be a nice crowd, right? For a Christmas gathering and a magical evening that we're going to hold here. So I like that. That's very nice. And it's going to be many, many more in the coming days. So thank you for all coming on board, even if you're coming on board later. So anyone else want to share? Last call for sharing. Okay. Then, and Lotta Björk, all alone here with my dog. So thank you. Okay, well, thank you, Lotta. And Karina, how are you spending Christmas, Björn? Well, here with you. I've been preparing for most of the day for the presentation here. And yeah, then here with you. That's it. I couldn't think of anything better to do and nobody better friends than you. So I am all happy. Okay, so let's dive right into it. I'm gonna just switch the screen here to this lovely picture. which is this evening's energy, the background. So here we have Santa and the flying reindeers taking off, and we have the aurora borealis, or the northern lights, in the background. So that's exactly what's going on right now. This evening, this is when Santa are out putting all those Christmas gifts in the chimney for the last second before the evening comes and everybody want to open their Christmas gifts. And Carina, thank you so much for all you do. Thank you, Carina. Thank you for being a sport and helping out and, yeah, being lovely. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So let's dive in to this amazing, I like to call it a fairy tale because it seems like a fairy tale, but it's true. So the fairy tale about Santa, we're going to dissect it and dive into the original story. So let's see. Here we go. Are you ready? Let's begin. So here we have this amazing picture with the northern lights and Santa coming out of, I like this picture down there on the right, that we see those military, the biggest military ships in the world being redone for Santa. Isn't that a nice idea? I like that idea. Okay, so when we look in the history, it's a word which is very important to understand. It's divided in two words. It's his story. So all the stories that we've been told, most of them are not true. They're camouflaged because they're camouflaging something way more important behind it, the origin. So we're going to dive into the real story, not his story. And his story are the ones who are the controllers of this world and want to steer humanity in a specific direction and hold us in a specific understanding of who we are and where we come from, which is very wrong. And as we dive into dissecting lie after lie after lie and spreading the light on it, we are slowly waking up to something much more magical and amazing, that who we are, where we come from, and where we're heading. And tonight, we're going to put some very important pieces of that puzzle together. So here we go. So you probably have some type of Christmas decoration, maybe a Christmas tree and some presents underneath. Maybe you already opened them. Maybe you have a fireplace going, so you have that cozy Christmas feeling going on. And that is what's going on now in most part of the world. So right now, everybody is in this cozy energy, having a loving atmosphere, and yeah, are blissing out in a wonderful feeling. But where does it come from? Where does all this come from? So in order to answer that, we're going to go through a portal way back in time, 100+ years back in time, and we end up at the Santa place, where we're going to talk about the true story of Santa. This is actually the real true Santa origin. These were our medicine men and medicine women in every village all around the world, also called shamans. And the shamans' only role was to help keep the people in the village in a healthy, fit state. So his job were always to be ahead of the game, a few steps ahead of the game, to make sure that everybody were taken care of. And if anybody fell ill or hurt himself, injured, they came to the shaman and whoops, with healing modalities that we are now, diving into and start to get it out there in the world again. Those were the common things that we did all the time back then. And their job was so crucial, so important. So if you had a shaman that didn't do a good job to keep the population healthy, they were fired. So they had a lot of pressure keeping up with making everybody happy and feeling good. So if we look at that today, where we have sick care, before we used to have health care, being healthy all the time, being fit all the time. So we are now diving into back to the future. So what we had back then is what we're going to have very soon again. And many of us has already started this journey of leaving sick care and start to doing much better, much higher above the lowest level of how we can feel, right? So let's dive into this magical story of the shamans. So this is a story from the Northern Hemisphere. The belt goes from all the way over to Mongolia and Siberia, and that whole span over to Scandinavia. So over that period of time, the shamans there was very famous because they were so skilled, and they really knew how to tap into the divine consciousness in the ether and to talk to the field thanks to some plant medicine that they were working with. And every year at Christmas Eve, there was this very specific tradition, which is the whole story about Santa today, which has been camouflaged. So they went out into the woods and with their reindeers to do what? Well, of course, to connect with this amazing nature, filling themselves with bliss and thinking about the year that has passed, everything that have happened over the year, all the mistakes, all the good things, everything. So they were contemplating that, and they were looking for something. And they were looking for this. The packages that we in today's Santa see in the sled. But there were something very different with these packages in the sled that the shaman Santa was out looking for. It was this. This is Amanita muscaria. In Swedish, it's called the röd flugsvamp. And it has been a campaign since we left that time, because what happened was that when we came into the Industrial Revolution about 100 years ago, there was so much spillovers from the oil industry. So from the petroleum leftovers, they started working with the pharmaceutical ideas to do an alternative to the natural kingdom of nature and to steer us away from nature and to just eat the pharmaceutical products. Now that's a whole nother story for another day, huge, but it started here because this is one of the main healers in the world, one of the main magic mushrooms, one of the most amazing plant medicines that a human being can experience to get the holy connection, get your nervous system healed, get the traumas healed. I mean, it's totally amazing. It just needs to be done in a holy way, and that you, of course, have someone that can guide you through it in the beginning when you're a new beginner. So this is what they were looking for. This is why we have packages red and white, and they are placed underneath the Christmas tree, right? So this is why we put the Christmas gifts under the Christmas tree. So this is what the shaman were out looking for. So they had a big bag, and they filled the bag with the amanitas. And then, so this is also very, you see a lot of pictures with Santa and the amanita, and they go way, way back. So you find, as you see, this picture is an older picture, and that was a very common theme back then. And now they cleansed all those out, so we don't look there anymore because they don't want us to look here. All right. So you see, here's a picture from 1904, and a whole row of amanitas and a little Santa walking on that yellow brick road. And you see the sunshine with the sunbeams, talking about this amazing experience that these mushrooms can give us to connect with ourselves and the holiness. So even children were taught to help to go out there and look for these mushrooms and pick them. So the whole community, the whole village were involved, because this was an annual thing that everybody helped out, because now we were about to have this yearly tradition with a magical experience to look back over the year that has passed, heal things that went wrong, heal our trauma, and reset our nervous system, get a really nice, good, deep sleep, and wake up the next day ready for the new year, the year ahead. So part of the journey was to look back, the other part was heal, and the third part was to look ahead, the year ahead. So we had a plan for what we were going to do to improve the village and the community for the year ahead. So you see a lot of pictures that were involved with children and these mushrooms. So they really like to help. So here you see a beautiful picture. I really like it. Best wishes for a happy new year, and the amanita. So this has been lost, and it's been lost for a very good reason. And that is that they don't want us to connect with the deeper wisdom in the universe and with ourselves. They want us to keep us in this matrix consciousness, not being connected to the deeper insights of the world and the universe, life and our origin, and how we can steer everything to a bright future. So here it says it all. Okay, so the reindeers. Why are they depicted flying? Well, they love the mushrooms too. They love them. So they both love to find them in nature like this and eat them. But there is another thing as well, and that is that I will come to that a little bit later, actually. I wait with this. But it's not just the reindeer. Every animal in the forest love these mushrooms. Here we see a fox eating an amanita. All animals, they know the secrets of the nature. And they also have this intuition to know when it's time to go for healing mushrooms. So once in a while, when the nature provide these amazing mushrooms, they eat them too. And then they lay down and they hallucinate and have this amazing healing experience by themselves in nature. And then they wake up fully charged, ready to go, reset, and it would be nice to be able to communicate with a fox or a reindeer, and they could tell us what they experienced. But that's why we have this thing about the flying reindeers. This is why. This is why they're depicted as flying, because when they ate them and then they get high, they start to run around like crazy. It was uncontrollable. And this is why, right? And you saw they were happy, so that's why they're depicted as happy reindeers flying. So as they were flying over the sky, and with Santa after, and with a whole big sack full of Amanitas mushrooms, there was something very different going on back then to today. So for instance, if we look at the thing with the packages or the gifts in the big bag and the chimney, well, where did that come from? Well, now we already know what the real packages in the bag was. It was Amanitas, right? And that's why Santa is dressed as an Amanita with a red and white dress. That's why. But the real story is that up in the northern hemisphere, they lived in yurtas, small domes. And many times when they came back home during that winter time, it was so much snow. So many times over that winter period, they couldn't go in through the door. It was snow all the way up to the roof. So they went down, as you see here on top of the yurta, there is a round opening and a hole and a chimney down there. So they could walk down that way into their homes. That's where it comes from. So symbolisms, right? And well, down there in the yurta, they started to dry the Amanitas. So you dry them, and then you ferment them as well. So you can ferment them with lemon, and there were a few other ways they went ahead and did that. I will come to one very soon here. So they worked big time on these magic mushroom, and they were one with them. So I love this picture. The shaman using a hat looking like an amanita. So now, back to the reindeers. So when they were eating the amanita, they had a very specific stomach system and acid in their stomach that these shamans found out, which fermented the amanita perfectly. So what they did was that they kept an eye on the reindeers having their trip, and then they went and pee in the snow. And you know, never eat yellow snow, right? Well, here was the opposite, because now you had fermented amanita in the urine of the reindeer. So they collected this yellow snow in bottles, and that was the high dose, the very high exclusive amanita trip for those in the inner circle. And then they had a ceremony. They collected all the leadership in the village, and they talked to the gods. They fasted and came together in a holy ceremony to soon go on this Amanita journey, this inner journey, where they will be connected to the spirits and their higher selves, Christ consciousness. So everybody was lifted up from their lower vibrations up to Christ consciousness. And in that vibration, they went on a journey together to look back over the year that has passed, all the mistakes that were done and how they could have done it better. So it was like how we consciously want to improve ourselves to become the best version of ourselves. That was the ceremony. And also to heal it, to heal the nervous system, to heal the situations with maybe there were some fallouts in the village, and then to look ahead, the year ahead. The wishes they had, the dreams they had, what they wanted to develop in the village, all these things came to them in this ceremony. So the whole village was involved in this ceremony. So there was a holy atmosphere during this time. And this is why it's called holiday, holy day. So they had visions, and living in this part of the world where you have both the northern lights and other phenomenon up there in the northern part, the light of the north. So they have halos, and all these things, of course, add to the mystery and the magic that you can experience when you get help with plant medicine. So you really are connected to the universe. The universe and you are now in direct link, and you get downloaded the most amazing information from the universe, upgrading you, your body, your whole being, and then get insights that are just out of this world that we can't get a hold of in any other way. So once the day break, they came together again, and they talked about their journey. So now there was a new part of the ceremony where there was sharing time. So the shaman held the atmosphere, and everybody got their time to share, no time pressure all the time in the world. And then they talked about everything until it was completed, and everybody was happy for this amazing ceremony, ending the year that has passed and getting ready for the new one ahead. So that brought a lot of light into the village and the village people. They were in Christ consciousness over this time period, and that's why it's called the Holy Connection, the Holy Connection with Christmas time. So now you know why Santa has the red and white clothes, why the chimney, why the Christmas tree, why the gifts underneath the Christmas tree, and oh, a little side note as well. The decoration in the Christmas tree was the magic mushrooms, the amanita, because when they came down to their yurta, they hang them in a Christmas tree to dry. So they let them hang in the Christmas tree, and that's why we see the Christmas tree decorations. But it started with drying of the mushrooms. And when someone offers you a gift, just know now, the gift is an amanita. Every Christmas gift from its origin is an amanita. That's the real origin of all Christmas gifts. So I like to dive further into this subject because there is more alterations to Santa, which we're now going to dive into, and the magic behind it. First of all, of course, the clothes. And we see the royalties having these. So king and queens and royalties have used the amanita in their clothing as a mockery to the people. So they told the people this was the most lethal mushroom you can ever eat, so don't eat it. It's very dangerous. And everybody bought into it. Okay, we won't eat that. Thank you for telling us. But they had their clothes to elevate themselves because they had the knowledge, because they took it. They had these inner journeys and connected to the universe and got all these benefits, but they didn't want the people to get it. So that has been the journey to get it out from the folklore, the shamans and the village people since 100 plus years back. And then the petroleum industry came in and started the pharmaceutical companies, and that's when it really changed, and they started to make plant medicine illegal. Here we see another Santa. This is Saint Nicholas, coming from the Netherlands. So he was became a known saint, a patron of Christ consciousness, doing a lot of goodwill, and especially around Christmas in the Netherlands, where there was a lot of poor people. So he is also part of the newer version of the story of Santa, as a Santa figure specifically in Holland. Here you see him depicted with the aura around him as a Christ-conscious human being. This is Sanat Kumara. And Sanat Kumara is here with us to help us become great divine beings and guide us to become one with our own inner Christ. So he is an archangel, one of the main archangels, and his whole energy is amplified now around Christmas to really help us to connect with our Christ consciousness, our heart, our loving divine being. So this is also another part of the story about Santa, which has the more religious and spiritual aspect to it. So there you go. This was the story of the flying reindeers, Santa Claus and his sled, and the big package there, the big bag filled with presents. And the presents were magical gift from the universe, plant medicine, which is said coming from the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians is a 7-dimension civilization. And we are here now doing the jump from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension. And the plant medicine helps us to connect with the 5th dimension, 6th, and 7th dimension, depending on what plant medicine you take, how elevated you are yourself, how far you have come on your journey, how ready you are for the higher consciousness. And most connect with the 5th dimension when they take Amanita. So it's a start which is fundamental and so beautiful. So what it all comes down to now is, of course, peace on earth. And that begins with each and every one of us. That during this Christmas time, this holy day, to really tune into that love and peace inside of us. That we don't have any ego desires anymore that makes us out of our body, that we are the peace we wish to see and find outside, that we carry it inside of us. Because when we carry that peace vibration inside of us, that vibrates out to all the people we meet around us, so they feel calm and relaxed when they're together with us. So we become healers by just carrying a peaceful energy inside of us. So that's why it says here that peace on earth begins with me. And here we have the peace sign, the original peace sign. It's from the Viking runes called the life rune. And this is something that we're going to see much, much more in the coming years. how the rulers also turned this symbol upside down. And upside down, it means death and war. So all those who have been demonstrating for peace, and then they had the peace sign upside down, they write, "We want peace," and then they declare it with a death and war symbol. So imagine how much more we have to dive into to dissect the truth about our world and everything. And symbolism is one of the big part of it. So here we have the original from the Viking tradition, the life rune, bringing life and peace into the world. And this is what happened after you had this ceremony. So I like to continue this with an ending of Don Miguel Ruiz, the 4 agreements. And this is something we all should contemplate on during the Christmas time. Be impeccable with your word. Because if we're not, then our word means nothing. So when we decide to say something, make sure you live up to it. Don't say anything that you're not going to live up to. You decide what you want. You decide what you want to say. Just make sure you live up to it. So be impeccable with your word. 2, don't take anything personally. This is so, so important. Because whenever there is someone out of alignment, being sad, stressed out, and angry, and they let it out on you. So now you get the whole shebang, everything they carry inside, because for some reason, something happened and they snapped and they gave you everything, right? You know that all of that came out was not just for you. That was everything they carried inside, all their disappointments, all their sadness, everything that's going on that's not good in their life. And even if there is someone that are doing something personally to you, so they really attack you and your persona, right? Also know that that's also under this category, don't take anything personally. Because again, it could be another person that was in that place instead of you. So then they would have got that shower of unkindness instead of you. So it's always to go back to that fantastic point of view where you are an observer to the whole situation. To just understand that everybody carries a lot of distress inside. And for many, it comes up now during this Christmas time, because now everything slows down, everything comes to their minds and their hearts, and now you need to deal with it. So then we come to number 3. Our minds start to go haywire, and you start to assume things that people have said to you, that things that people have done to you, or it can be, again, to find out the truth, and you start to assume that is this or that, or it's so or not so. All these things with assumptions is very, not good. It's much better to really dive into the truth and wait for the truth to really show itself until we decide what to think or what to believe, right? So to make assumptions, most often we make wrong assumptions and we lower our energy and we feel bad. So if we want to make assumptions, make sure they're positive on the bright side so you keep yourself elevated. And number 4, always do your best. That is what I am trying my best to do here for you every week for many years. I'm doing everything I can to be this channel between God and here. being one of the ground crew, doing my best to manifest heaven on earth. And it starts with us, that we raised our vibration and we find out the truth about everything that's going on. And we are all these channels. And that's why I also brought that in the subject here of Christ consciousness manifesting in many of us now during this Christmas time. So always do your best. And I like to actually put in there, we've been talking about this quite a lot way back, and now it's time to bring it up again. The thing about doing is also a thing that we need to talk about, because what it comes down to is that we're all human beings. We're not human doings. And it is enough to just be. So number 4 could be always be your best. And you can be by just being still, being in meditation, contemplating, just diving into that warm, fuzzy, amazing feeling of being highly elevated in your spirit, Christ consciousness. And in that beingness, once we establish that, we take it out to the world more and more. And that's when the next part comes in, the doing. So it starts with the being, that we are first filling ourselves with the wisdom, being in that vibration, and then we do from that vibration. That is the really deeper meaning of always do your best. So it starts with that we are being our best. So that was the story about the flying reindeers and Santa. Thank you for being with me here and part of this little Christmas special. Now we open up for insights and questions and answers. So here we have Sovereign Light Warrior. Kindly write your name so I know your name as well and everybody else knows your name. It's nicer. So here he goes. Santa Claus is the giver of the supreme gift in the human body, the oil for the perpetual lamp, the gold of Ophir, the quintessence of richness. So that is another part of the story about Santa. And the ladder is our 33 vertebrae in our spine to come up to the point where we turn on our pineal gland that distributes the holy oil to our brain, to our system, that makes us Christ conscious. So thank you for sharing that. That is what I talked about there with Sanat Kumara and the Christ consciousness connection. Thank you. My Brit. Merry Christmas, everyone. Love and peace. Thank you. And thank you, Britta. Any more insights or questions before we move on? Okay, so then I will move on to continue the deep conversation about this subject. So thank you, Lotta, Eric, thank you. This was truly amazing stuff. It blows my mind a little bit. It all makes sense with the Christmas tree. Dear Santa, I'm smiling inside. Yes, it's amazing. So I like to go into the hello, Madeleine. Merry Christmas. I like to go into the actual experience when we are in that Christed state, because that's what it's all about, right? So when we dive into this experience with the Amanita, it's something that is just beyond words. Again, always beyond words. But what it does, it helps us to connect with our whole system. So now, as we know, when we start every broadcast here, we're checking the energies of the power versus force scale. Lower energies keeps us in the matrix. Very simple. And when we get elevated, we get high, right? High. Then the matrix invisible threads, they start to lose their grip. So then suddenly we are like this, turned on. The light is on fire. We are connected to the universe and Mother Earth, and the matrix is long gone. And now we're in this bubble inside of us, closed eyes, and just now, this is also important to understand. If we are a person who have never had any plant medicine journeys, and we have a lot of stuff that have happened to us through our lives, so a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow, then that needs to be healed first. So then that is what's going to come up. The insights, the lessons to learn about these things. And they always come from a loving point. So from a loving guide, which this mushroom is, it helps us to see it from like an observer angle. So we don't get so sucked into the negative part of what happened. We actually see the whole thing, the whole spectrum of things, and we get deep insights to why it happened. And with that comes an relief of the pain, because now we understand it. And most often, it's always that whoever it was that caused us this pain, had someone else doing that to them earlier in life. So we pass on this negative karma to each other, instead of being the one that breaks the cycle and not pass on this negative energies to someone else. And that's why it's so big right now. Plant medicine is spreading around the world, and even hospitals and the military and many other institutions are starting to use the plant medicine again, because so many need it. And no pharmaceutical can help us even close to the way the plant medicine can help us. So it's actually about getting out of the bottle to free ourselves from everything that is sad and tough, all the lower karma, all the sad experiences, lost loves, tragic life, difficulties, all the heaviness. And we get light. So we get love and light inside of us to lift our spirit so we can fly again. That's the gift. And with that, we see through the Maya illusion, we feel connected to the higher realm, which is the fifth dimension we're moving into. And all the friends and family who are in the lower vibration, we feel that we don't connect with them anymore. And then we start to move away and find other like-minded friends who are doing the same journey. being on this path of turning on our rainbow light, becoming light workers, light warriors, rainbow warriors, working on ourselves to turn on that inner light, that Christ consciousness. And we're all doing a fabulous job. We're doing it. We're working on it all the time here. So many are now on the way here through this last part of the tunnel into the bright future, which is coming very fast. We're already here. There is 2 timelines going on now at the same time, and you can see the worst and you can see the best. It's going on here at the same time. But to heal from that world and to start a new life in this new world, we need to go inside. We need to connect. So let's just see. I got the message here with it. I hope you can hear me still. Same. All right. So we need to dive into the understanding that all our thoughts and actions are placed in what's called the heavenly realm of Akashic records. So when we go through a plant medicine, we actually go through a life review that are we a good person? Are we spreading light to the world? Or are we actually adding darkness to the world? You know, see, there is many who have filled themselves with so much trauma and difficulties. So they are heavy, and heavy people with a lot of trauma, they lash out. So they can't help themselves doing bad things to others because they are so full of things that needs to be healed. So that is something that I have experienced a lot doing this work. I get attacked constantly. It's less now than it's been, but it's been quite a few heavy hitters over the last few years that really want to do everything to bring me down. But I'm not going to let that happen. I can be like this little boy here, feeling that the whole world is after me, but I'm going to do like I always do. Stand strong, stand tall, speak my truth, speak my light, because that's why I'm here. I came to this world to be part of this. And right now, we are in what's called the eye of the storm. We are right now in this very crucial time in this whole procedure, going through the dark part of the tunnel until we come out to the light. And for that, the plant medicine can really, really help us. So don't be afraid of all the propaganda that they have programmed us with. Take a deeper look in the medicine world of plant medicine. There is many plant medicine which are amazing. And just look here if you want to go pharmaceutical way or natural way. Your choice. There's 2 roads. One leads to death and destruction and the lower self, our ego self. And the other one leads to a bright future where we're connected with the universe and we are on top of the world. So in order to come there and be free and be happy, we need to find some way, which is very profound, that can help us fast and effective to really let go of all that heaviness. And plant medicine is the way. It's totally incredible, incredible. So when we are in this experience, it's first of all, of course, you close your eyes and you lay in your bed and you go inward, right? But again, on the scale 1 to 100%, the experience we have of feeling love, for instance. So we have many points in the time span we lived where we've been on a few peaks of feeling incredible love. Most often that love is felt with a partner, a spouse, or it can be a dog or a cat or a bird, something that we have become close to. And that love is something that we can now tap into as a reference point to how much love have I felt through my life. Well, I can tell you this. When you're in this state and you're connected to the universe inside of you, and your Christ consciousness is fully on, your aura is, if you take an aura photo of a person in that field now, it's huge. It's all activated, right? So we lay in this aura field now, fully activated, and we're bathing in the information, the downloads, and we're filled with peace, we're filled with love. Of course, if you have done the first part, take care of the trauma and heal that. Once that is done, now you come into the next part, which is just amazing connection of the divine, divine inspiration, divine intervention, divine feelings, divine love, divine peace, divine enlightenment, divine whatever you want to experience, bliss. That's it, bliss and ecstasy. So these feelings is not available in the matrix. We can be happy, right? So we can be happy, but to be really absorbed of these higher frequencies that are available in the universe for us to experience inside of us, it's plant medicine. It's plant medicine. So I highly recommend it for you who are ready. And you can go out in nature and pick it when it's that season of the year. Or you can just simply go online and order Amanita muscaria online, or someone of the other magic mushrooms. You get like, yeah, the Amanita is still legal. So that is also good to know. It's legal. They can't ban it because it's growing out in nature. But they're trying to put fear in people, to put it in books as the most toxic mushroom there is, but it's all lies, right? So the toxicity is something that is good for us. So, okay, when we're in that state, I can just say, I've been on the shamanic journey for 30 plus years, more than 30 plus years. I have had numerous experiences, and it has made me become a better version of myself than I could ever be without it. I have also guided a lot of people. I have held many retreats, plant medicine retreats over the years, where I have guided and helped others to have the most pleasant healing experience and uplifting experience that they can ever achieve. So I have a lot of knowledge and experience in this area, and that's why I'm doing this presentation for everybody to understand the fear factor here is false evidence appearing real, fear, right? And that we need to take charge of our healing journey to now find a fast way to take care of all the heaviness that we have inside, to clear it so we can move on into this new chapter that are waiting for us all and be the best version of ourselves. So thank you for letting me share that. And let's see if there is any more new insights and questions. Lotta, and you have the reindeer horn, Björn. Okay, I don't know what you mean with that, but maybe you are referring to the crown chakra, that the reindeers that's the crown. I don't know. You're welcome to specify what you mean. Susanne Svensson, hello and thank you. Sophia, hi Björn. I'm late in the chat, not in a good place in my heart and mind. Oh, but I am thankful I get the privilege to listen to you tonight and be reminded of the light. Thank you, Sophia, and all the love to you. Yeah, so if you missed what we've been doing to this point, you're in for a treat. There is a great story to take part of. Mona Lisa, I does not notice that people have awakened much more now than before in Sweden. In USA, it seems to have awakened much more people. And in Sweden, people seems to have hard to accept plant medicine. Yes, Sweden is one of the most programmed people to be negative to plant medicine. So it's a huge hurdle to get over. Huge. Lotta Björk, it was before. Okay, when the picture was in the background. Okay, I see. All right. Angel, hello. Okay. Yes. All right, my friends. Anyone else want to share some insights or have some good questions about this subject? Hello, Gunilla. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Björn, for the good news about this. Okay. You're welcome, Gunilla. Thank you. So, if anyone else would like to share something nice, some insights, or anything at all, Christmassy, uplifting, you're welcome to do so. Eric, great info, Björn. I didn't know amanita was okay to eat. I always thought it was very dangerous and toxic. Yep, programming. But I tried LSD and other mushrooms, and it's great. I agree. Yeah, higher knowledge, deeper divine connection, which we all are lacking, need more of. Anna-Karin, Björn, is this the same as yesterday? No, this is a completely new broadcast. So yesterday was something different. So then you have something else to look forward to. The yesterday broadcast was very nice. All right. So, anyone else? I feel there is a little bit shyness here. How can that be? So, if there is no one else who would like to share, Eric, I would love to do mushroom again soon. Yeah, in the beginning, when we start the plant medicine, it's good to have 1 to 3 journeys a year. And then eventually you come to a point where it's done. You don't need it anymore. And then maybe you do it every 5 or 10 years, once in a while, just to keep an update. So Mona Lisa, how do you order Amanita online? You simply go in and put in the Amanita muscaria for sale, and then check the links you get and find whatever resonates with you that feels best. And I'm sure there might be some Swedish links there as well, or Norwegian or Finnish, so you can buy from the Amanita that comes from our forests. All right, so then what I will do is I will shift the energy back to the love energy of Christmas. Here we go. And we will then pause the chat for now, and we will go on a Christmas meditation together. So please make yourself feel comfortable. I have some robust tea. So cheers. And then we just stretch a little bit before we get started. So a few deep breaths and allow yourself to stretch a little bit. Roll your shoulders, move to the right and left. And let your arms move as well. All right. So yesterday, I also mentioned that thing that they do in the schooling of traditional Christians and the Catholic Church. They do this, the cross, right? So we're always sending, when we're waving a wave of energy sending out love and light, right? And when we're moving that to us as a healer working in the field, not having a contact on the body, we work on the field in the aura. Then we put our hand to the crown chakra and we make a straight line through all the chakras, aligning ourselves in our energy system. And then we do this, cross over the heart. So that's why they do this. It's actually an alignment healing procedure that we put ourselves in alignment and in our heart, the heart centrum. So many little things that adds up to much deeper understanding on why we do certain things and why, we find so many rituals and what they come from. This is one important one. All right, so allow yourself to just relax, lean back, and then we're going to go on an inner journey, soon leave our body and get some new insights of this fantastic day and what we've been talking about here today in a nice meditation. So here we go. So here we sit, Christmas Eve 2023, with our closed eyes, erect spine, feet in the ground, hands with the palms up in our knees, relaxed, feeling good, ready to go on a new spiritual adventure, getting some new amazing insights and some upgrades to take back here into the world for the week ahead. So we just relax and we go down, down through our face to our neck and out to the shoulders and down through the arms, down to the hands. And here we take a big, nice, deep breath and we let our head, our mind, our shoulders and arms totally relax. Very nice. And we come back up through the arms, up to the shoulders, back to our upper chest and upper back. And we go down as well as through our spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, down, down, down. We pause in our heart and we take a new deep breath here, filling our lungs completely and allow our heart to now totally relax. Very good. We can feel the relaxation starting to spread from our upper chest, moving down, continuous down step by step, vertebrae by vertebrae in our spine, and also on the front and the back, passing solar plexus, passing our navel chakra, and coming down to our root chakra, to the point we sit on. And we take a new deep breath, which goes all the way down to the deepest point in our stomach, our diaphragm, and let ourselves completely relax. Wonderful. We continue down, down to the buttocks, down to the thighs, to the knees, to the calves, down to the feet, and all the way to the toes. Here we take a new deep breath and we allow our legs and feet to also relax. So our complete body is now totally relaxed. Three, two, one. And there we go. We leave the body with our spirit and we go down, down, down. We go down with the speed of light and it's still calm as the peaceful lake. We go down, down, down toward the centrum of the earth. We feel how it's getting more and more peaceful and grounded, and we slow down and we stop. And we tune in to the wonderful, grounding, earthy energies here in the middle of the earth, fueling up on that peace beyond words in a moment of silence. Wow, so peaceful and loving energies tonight. And with that, deeply grounded and peaceful, it's time to fly upwards. So we start to fly very gently upwards. We move in a nice, steady pace, in a peaceful, loving energy, passing the place we live, coming out on top of the house, straight up into the sky, up to the clouds, through the clouds, and up on the other side, where we see the stars, the moon close to getting full, and underneath us, an open, spread out cloud, just beautiful, starry, shining, bright colors and electricity from the world underneath us. And we look around and we see each other burning like bright stars, shining bright, and we come together, creating a big circle. And it's time for hugging, so everybody gets a hug. And then we close the circle, hold each other's hands, and we sit down together and just allow this groundedness to be established in the whole group. Beautiful. So today is one of those special days in the old calendar that we're still living after. Now it's Christmas again. Or we all know that it's not Christmas again. It's a Christmas another time again, because we're moving in a spiral upward. We're not moving in a circle round and round and round again, which is the difference between stuck in the old mentality, in the matrix, in the lower ego consciousness. Then the experience is that it's happening again and again and again and again. Can it be anything more boring to the soul and spirit than to be like a repetitive uh, gramophone, just thinking about playing that same record over and over and over again? Or if you just have one book and you read that book over and over and over again. We are now many who have come to that point in our life where we see the insanity of making these old habits over and over and over again. Thank God that we are not alone. We have found each other, and more are awakening their spirit, their higher self, turning on that wisdom, that love, also called Christ consciousness, which helps us to leave that broken record, that old book, that old chapter, that matrix, and move forward, upward, and deeply grounded, connected to the earth, connected to the heaven, connected to our heart, connected in our spirit. This is now amplified this day for all of us who choose to be in this space, this energy. We are leaving the old matrix behind. We're moving into uncharted territory, white canvas, a future which is written in the stars, called heaven on earth, the golden age. And we are here as the ground crew to help connect these higher visions to become reality manifested on earth. What a privilege to be one of the first to be awakened and get this information inside of our hearts and minds, and feel the obligation and the gratefulness that comes along with it, to feel chosen to do this amazing divine work. It is a privilege. It is something not taken lightly. It is angelic work, divine work. That's why it's called light work. So we are all light workers. chosen ones, which I like to call ground crew. We are here as the workers in between the heavens and the earth to help connect and ground all these visions with the sprinkle of our own creativity. So we come alive. So you get information in whatever way. It can be something that comes from something you read in a book, something that comes from a song, a lyric, or in a conversation you have with someone, or a dream, or a day vision. Whatever the inspiration comes from, it ignites that passion inside of us that makes us become in spirit. We become inspired. And with that, we get turned on. And when we get turned on, we leave the lower consciousness and we become the higher consciousness. We become spirit, our higher self, Christ consciousness. And from this heightened, elevated state, anything is possible. All those high-flying dreams and visions that when we looked at them from a lower point of view, when we are low in our energy and it seems impossible, when we are elevated, they are possible. How can this be? Well, it's very simple. When we're in that low state, we're cut off from the link to the universe. Now it's just you alone. And you alone, you can't do divine, amazing, paramount, monumental, paradigm-shifting things in the world. You can only do human stuff, ego stuff. But when the channel is on and you are connected, anything is possible. Anything. And you know this. And the elite who runs the world, they know this. That is why this war against humanity is a spiritual war. It's a war against our spiritual connection, our heightened, elevated state. That's why they want us to be in that lower state. So we're sad, we're depressed, we eat pharmaceuticals, we eat antidepressant, we drink alcohol, we eat rubbish food, anything to just fill that black hole of sadness inside. Take a breather. Take a step back. Get into the observer of everything going on. See it, feel it, understand it. And with that, step away from it. Break away from the old self-destructive habits, from the old negative programming, from all social events that keeps everybody in this old structure and negative thought patterns. Doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's insanity. We are now, luckily, a percentage of that human family who are awakening to this insanity, breaking away from it, chartering into new territories of uncharted realms. We're moving into a time where imagination, fantasy, love, joy, and wisdom are the guiding light. We are here to not improve the old world. We're here to build and establish a brand new world. And it starts with us. That each and every one of us carry this vibration inside of us. that everybody who comes in contact with us can feel it in our presence. They can see it in our eyes. They can hear it in our voice. And of course, they will all notice it in our actions. So we're moving into a time where the slogan is simply be your best. Be the best version of yourself. We now have so many role models of amazing legends, masters that has lived here before us and have a magical story to tell of how they elevated themselves, like we just been diving into here. And this is what now millions of human beings are in the process of doing. So in this time, it's not just going to be a few who elevate themselves to the master level of legends. We are millions. Millions. And you are one of them. We are many here, and we are growing. And the more of us who start to really get a hang of this and be an example in our lives for people around us to see how we change into the best version of ourselves and what we do with it and the ripple effect that happens around us from that inspires lots and lots of other great human beings who've been waiting for someone to be the first, because there is a fear in humanity, a fear that is deeply rooted, that comes from all these thousands of years of the dark ones taking out all who stand out. This time, it's different because we're so many, so they can't take us out anymore. But there is still a deep-rooted fear inside of us that if we tune in to that higher part of us, that deeper loving part of us, we will be taken out. But that's an old programming. Now it's safe. Now it's needed like never before. Now it's safe to become the best version of yourself. Now it's fun to be the best version of yourself. Now it's the biggest adventure that this life has to offer is to be the best version of ourselves. So let's move those blockages aside. Let's open up to a whole new level to let this divine inspiration, this divine presence, this divine holy connection come into our being, into our lives in a whole new way. Allow it to open up that flow so you can feel this presence inside of you growing, expanding, feeling more and more energetic, feeling more and more aligned, feeling more and more like the best version of yourself. Feel it vibrating in your whole being, your whole light being now elevated and vibrating in this high state of consciousness, totally connected. All the best things that you has to offer is now highly elevated and accessible. You're now connected to Mother Earth, Father Sky. The whole cosmos is inside and outside of you as one. And so is the field of all of us. We are all now connected, each and every one of us, glowing in that amazing aura field, totally connected, as well as this field that we are in together, a huge field connected to every one of us, as well as all other human beings who also share this heightened state of awareness and divine connection. So let's take a look down at the earth plane. And with this heightened state of awareness, our eyesight and feeling abilities is on a whole other level. So we can see and feel the percentage of human beings that are in this heightened state of awareness is so many, and we are spread out all over the world, in every country, in every religion, in every belief system, in every part of the world, plus the income level, from the poor to those in the middle income to the wealthiest on earth. We are all spread out in all areas, all over, everywhere. And so many are what's called undercover. They are much more elevated and have come much more on their spiritual journey than what they seem to have come, what they show in their outside. So we are coming to a time now when there's so many who want to find a family, a connection where they can open up and share what they have inside, what they have to share with the world, and feel this connection that we share. Just hold on and wait and see. You're going to be surprised how fast this shift is going to happen, because we have moved very, very slowly for a very long time. But we are coming to a tipping point. And once we reach that tipping point, which for sure will happen in a very close future, most likely during 2024, then there will be a shift which is called the paradigm shift, the shift of the ages, where we go from one belief system to the new one, where everything starts to fall. And with that, a transition time into the new. Everything comes down to how many of us are totally connected to spirit. So now, allow yourself to just tune in now to the spirit of Christmas. Let's take a look up, because there is a special little gift for us this evening. And we look up, and we look up at all the stars. And one star in particular seems extra bright, just displaying this amazing light pulsating. And suddenly it becomes a shooting star coming straight toward us. And we see it's a whole load of reindeers, and with a big sled parking right in front of us. So we, of course, jump in and off we go. So the reindeers, they start to fly, and we are on a journey to take a little spin around the world to just feel and see the Christmas spirit. So we go to the first location, which is dear to my heart, to Lemuria, Hawaii. And we sprinkle this angel sprinkles all over Hawaii, just sending out our energy of love and connection to the divine, to the whole Hawaii Islands, all the Hawaiian people, from the very beginning to Lemuria, all the visitors and all those in power, holding the people there in a very harsh way. And we spread this peace and love to the islands to just open up these hard hearts. And for those who are already open, to become more aligned, more courageous, to stand their ground and step up to the injustice being done there. We continue toward United States. We come into United States and we just open our bag and we throw magic mushroom stuff just out, sprinkle it in the ether, just let it out, and just see how we shed that information in the field, this higher elevated consciousness to the whole United States. And we take a spin through Canada up to the northern part into Alaska, and then round down to New York, over to Iceland, over to Scandinavia, all through Norway, and we just continue spreading this high vibe as just stardust coming down from our the reindeer and the sled. And we just keep on spreading, flying through the whole Sweden. Just spread it, spread it, spread it. We need it so much in Norway and Sweden. And then we go into Finland and we continue spreading it. We drive all the way through the east to Russia, Mongolia, China, whole Asia, down to Australia, and then into the Middle East, into Africa, into South America, and then we come back around again and we come back into Mediterranean, where I sit. And here we go through the whole Europe, all the countries in Europe, all the Mediterranean countries, and we are done. So with reindeers on Amanita flying in this speed, anything is possible. So now just see from a vantage point very high up how it's like northern lights, the aurora borealis, this phenomenon with your eyes closed, just see it in your inner eyes, how that is pulsating with this higher vibration, this elevated divine consciousness in the ether, now raining down in the air to all countries, touching every soul on earth with this highly elevated divine consciousness. And with that, we step out of the sled. We hug the reindeers, they hug us back, and off they go up to the North Pole. And we are now done for today. What a mission. So it's time for hugging and saying goodbye for tonight. So everybody gets a hug, and then we hold hands and we create a circle. And we pause for a minute and just allow this to sink in as we hold each other. So deeply connected. Thank you so much for being part of this work. So we look each other into our eyes and we lock eyes with each other and we feel the divine presence. We see it, we feel it, we know it. We recognize each other with that spark, those twinkling eyes of loving, peaceful, harmonious, divine connected energies. So nice to feel at home. So nice to just look into each other's eyes, not having to speak, just reading the energies between us and inside of us, and feeling that comfortable, loving feeling of being home. Beyond words. And with that, know that you're not alone. We're connected, always. So we let go of each other's hands. We give each other an extra little blink in the eye. I see you. I know you. And then it's time to fly homeward. So we start to fly homeward and we see the landscape underneath us, more beautiful than ever. In this time we're in, this amazing feeling inside that we are on the brink of something paramount, something magical, something beautiful, something that has never happened in the whole history of mankind. Now, we are part of that ground crew. We're chosen to help make this shift. What an honor. Wow. We're filled with the feelings we have been experiencing now this night. And we contemplate them as we fly homeward. It's huge. Huge. We start to see the place we live in the horizon. It's coming closer and closer. We see the house we live in getting even closer. And there we fly through the roof and straight down to our body. And 3, 2, 1. There we come into our body through the feet. And we immediately feel how the physical body and us, the spirit, are connecting, feeling so good, feeling home. The body fills with this new light codes, fueling up cell by cell, and it's spreading like light through the whole body and up through the legs, up to the knees, to the thighs, to the buttocks, and we pause a little bit in our stomach. And we allow our physical body to now take a new deep breath and connect with the spirit, becoming one. Very, very nice. We feel deeply grounded. We can breathe all the way down to our tummy. It's so nice and relaxed. We move upward, coming into our navel chakra, and the same here. A beautiful feeling of being balanced and harmonized. All the emotions just lovingly, blissfully resonating with the divine. We come up one more step to the solar plexus. And so also vertebrae by vertebrae in our spine. And we feel the sun in our chest are shining brighter than ever. This divine light has added another atmosphere in our whole being, spreading that inner power which is beyond us. It's the connection to the divine, being all powerful together. We continue up to our heart, and our heart immediately feels that new divine love coming in, totally just merging, becoming one with its higher state of awareness, spreading this love through every cell in our body, just feeling a pulsating heart, just pulsating with every beat. Love, love, love. And it just keeps on going, keeps on going. And you can see and feel how it spreads out to the atmosphere around us in our aura field. And then it leaves our aura field and it's continuously pulsating out from our system into the world. And we are now many hundreds doing the same. It's so beautiful. Just wow. So we allow ourselves now here to take a new deep breath and fill our lungs to our complete capacity and allow this physical connection to connect with the spiritual connection. We feel how our spirit is starting to become more and more physical and how we are merging, becoming one. We are moving up to our shoulders, down through the arms, down to our hands, and we wiggle a little bit with our fingers, with the palms up in our lap, and feeling how we're becoming more and more in our body. We move back up through the arms, to the shoulders, up to the throat and neck, and stay here for a little while, and just feel the connection with our throat chakra, being highly activated and upgraded with this divine connection, this huge, amazing, just in this specific day, it becomes extra strong. Just knowing that we're so many right now at this very moment who are in this state of highly elevated divine connection. And when we are that through our throat chakra, we are very careful, full of care with what we say. Because we are here as light workers, spreading light. So we are paying very close attention to our words and even more attention to the energy behind the words, how we speak. That it comes from that groundedness through our whole system, activated with our loving heart, spreading that energy through our voice. So all that communication, everything that we've been through tonight comes out, even though we just make a sound like a sigh, like ah. It activates all those around us by we just being in this state. And then communication is amplified thousandfold. So with that knowingness, we now move upward to our face, which immediately start to smile bright and warm and lovingly. All these small muscles in our face who are there to make us beautiful, to make us shine, to make us joyful. And then with that face, when anybody else sees that face, it spreads immediately without again saying a word, just shining bright. Everybody gets a positive kick out of it and smiles back. What a beautiful way to spread light and love, isn't it? So we continue all the way up to our third eye. And here we stop for a second and also pay attention to the energy field now activated in our third eye, just pulsating, vibrating like never before. In a whole new way, we have activated our ability to see beyond the veil, to visualize and know that this is the start of the manifestation process. Whatever we start to focus on here is starting to produce its manifesting molecules in the ether to then come down and become solid in the third density. All we have to do is apply all the focused loving energy to what we wish and then take the actions, the steps necessary for it to come about. It's becoming more clear to us how this works. And as we practice, it becomes easier and more fun to do it as well. And then lastly, we put our attention all the way up to our crown. And we feel how the spine is erected, how our whole field is connected all the way up to the crown chakra, and how it goes through our whole body straight up into the atmosphere, connected to the divine, all the way down to Mother Earth. And we are here perfectly aligned, balanced and harmonized in the middle of our physical body, totally connected to every molecule in our system and out to our aura and the fields on top and above, around and underneath us in all directions. Feel how you vibrate now. See it in your inner eye, how you are so beautiful, you are so peaceful, you're so relaxed, you're full with love, you're full with this divine connection, this beingness, this heightened state of awareness, which is soon becoming the new normal, where we're going to be all the time. All the time. And with that, when you're ready, you take a new deep breath and you come back by simply opening your eyes, and you have all this energy with you. Wow. What an amazing evening. I couldn't have spent this Christmas evening in any better way than this. So thank you so much for being part of this evening, for being part of this family, for helping raising the energies here. spreading your insights, having good questions, having a good vibe, and supporting the work back, giving the thumbs up. Thank you for giving the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. That helps a lot. And also, if you like to support my work back, you are very welcome. The links are underneath the video. So, my friends, take extra good care of yourself. Continue enjoying this spirit weekend and the week ahead. There is new videos coming later on this week. And then, of course, we have the New Year celebration next weekend. So all my love to you. Big hug. Enjoy the weekend. Take extra good care of yourself. And I see you soon again. Much love. Bye for now.